We just finished talking about King David. Remember, David lived during the time of kings. His son Solomon was the last king before the 12 tribes of Israel, who were God's chosen people, split into 2 different kingdoms. 10 tribes went into the north and were called Israel, and 2 tribes went into the south and were called Judah. Remember, all of the Old Testament leads to the birth of Jesus, and Jesus would be born from Judah. God's people went through many kings, and many of them were bad and did not obey God. Eventually, Israel was carried off into exile. You would think Judah would learn from this and turn back to God, but they didn't. And eventually, God allowed Judah to be carried off into exile into Babylon. This was a very sad time for the tribes of Judah. They were no longer in the promised land. They were ruled over by pagan cultures who did not worship God. Yet even in the darkness, there were those who stood out and are remembered for their faith in the time of exile. One of these people was Esther.
Hey Burnett families, and welcome to our final week of our series, Brave. Thanks so much for not leaving me by myself on YouTube. I watch the series every week after church, and so it's always encouraging to see that there are kids watching and enjoying it. We're gonna start today off with the game of tongue twisters. So how this is going to work is a tongue twister is gonna come up on the screen, and you're gonna see how fast you can say it. If you're with families, feel free to do this together and to sort of compete and see who says it fastest. The first tongue twister is she sells seashells by the seashore. All right, well, the second one is, if a dog chews shoes, whose shoes does he choose? All right, third one, and I'm gonna have to read it because they're getting trickier. So this one is, these 1,000 tricky tongue twisters trip thrillingly off the tongue. And our fourth and final tongue twister. Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, a peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked. If Peter Piper picked a peck of pickled peppers, where's the peck of pickled peppers Peter Piper picked? Hopefully you can do that one better than me. Well, I found some of those pretty difficult in case you didn't notice, and today is all about facing difficult situations. Let's head on over to Grow TV to find out what today's big idea is.
Hey there, you little chicken nuggets. It's me, Carl.
And I'm Cassie.
And welcome to Grow TV.
Welcome to Grow TV. Introducing your host, Carl. And your co-host, Cassie. Where we learn, where we grow, and we talk about Jesus. Once again, welcome to Grow TV.
Well, howdy, partners. We're excited y'all are here.
We sure are, Carl. And today we want to start off by playing a game.
That's right. If there's anything in this world that I love, it's games. And God. And Jesus. And the Holy Spirit. And horses. Frogs. Slime. Flamingos. Flamingos on frogs. Flamingos on horses. The feeling you get on a roller coaster when you do a loop-de-loop. Sunglasses with cool flames on the side of them.
That's probably enough, right?
What? Oh, yeah. That's enough.
Okay, so the game we're playing today is...
Chocolate cake.
What?
Nothing.
Okay, anyway, today the game we're going to be playing is Catch.
Yes! Catch! And today, I brought some of my older brother's favorite toys.
Wow, I thought he never let you borrow his toys.
Oh, he doesn't. But I gave him a cookie in exchange for the toys. But his one condition was I could not lose the toys.
That's awesome.
Yep. So you ready?
Ready?
All right, well, we're gonna start off with this block and add more as we go.
Let's go.
This is a lot of fun.
I know, you're telling me. I haven't had this much fun since, I don't know when.
Me neither. I don't think anything can ruin this.
Hey, buds. How's it going? You guys doing okay?
Hey, Andy.
How's it going?
Oh, not bad. What are y'all doing?
Playing some games, having fun, not doing anything at all.
Oh, it doesn't look like nothing. What are those?
These?
Yeah.
These? Oh, these are just turtles. I'm a turtle collector. Right, Cassie?
Yeah, Carl's an avid turtle collector. He loves the smell of shells.
Smell of shells?
That seems fishy. Let me see. Wait a minute. These aren't turtles. These are your brother's toys, aren't they? You mind if I take them?
Well, I mean, they're my brother's.
See you later, buddy. Thank you. Appreciate it. If you tell anybody, you're in trouble.
What just happened?
Wow, I don't know, but that wasn't very nice.
No, it wasn't. And now I don't know what to do. He just took the toys. And my brother said not to lose them.
I'm sure your brother will understand.
I don't think he will. He loves those things.
Well, if you just tell him the truth, that Andy took them, maybe he might.
I can't do that either. Andy said if I told anyone, I would be in trouble.
Oh, that's right.
Oh no, I'm in such trouble.
I know this situation seems really difficult right now, but you're not alone.
How?
Well, I'm here, and you know what? There have been people who've gone through difficult times just like you right now.
Really? Like who?
You know Esther?
The nice lady at Walmart who always gives me the smiley face sticker?
No, from the Bible.
Oh, okay. No, I don't think I know of her.
Well, she was a Jewish woman who was picked by King Xerxes to become the next queen.
Wow, that's great. That doesn't seem like a tough situation.
Thing is, she kept her identity as being Jewish hidden from everyone. And one day, her cousin Mordecai came and told her something very troubling. He said that there were people not only plotting to kill the king, but the Jewish people.
That's awful.
It was, and Esther didn't know what to do.
What do you mean? She needs to go tell the king so she can stop it.
You would think it would be simple, but there was a law that if you came to talk to the king without him asking you, you would die.
Seriously? That's crazy.
Yeah, but that was the law, so Esther had a really tough decision to make. To not say anything and see her family and friends killed, or to tell the king and possibly die because of it.
Holy moly, that's difficult. So what'd she do?
Well, she asked Mordecai to tell everyone to fast from food so she could have wisdom and courage to do what was right. So then she decided to tell the king, and she said, if I perish, I perish.
Wow, Esther was really brave. I mean, she knew that if she went and told the king, she could really get hurt. So why would she do that?
I think it was because it was the right thing to do, and it was her faith in God that helped her do it.
I guess you're right. And I guess that gives me the answer for my difficult decision.
I think you're right.
But at least I now know that God can help me overcome my difficulties.
What was that?
Oh, I just said I think that now God can help me overcome difficulty. What? What? I just said that. Wait a minute! That's our big idea! Today's big idea is that God can help me overcome difficulty.
So let's say it out loud on the count of 3, okay?
1,
2,
3. God can help me overcome difficulty! Woohoo! All right! Yeah! You did it. Good job.
I'm proud of you, Carl, but I know by doing something difficult, God will be proud of you, and so will I.
Thanks, Cassie. I know it's the right thing to do.
Okay, here you go. So I don't want these back anymore.
Wait, why?
I felt bad.
You got in trouble with your mom and had to give them back, didn't you?
Yes.
All right then. Well, thanks for tuning in, kids. We'll see you next week.
Thank you for watching, and tune in next week for a new episode of Pro TV.
the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The Lord is close to the broken-hearted. Psalms 34:18. Yeah, 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 yeah.
Lord is close to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The Lord is close to the broken-hearted. Psalms 34:18.
Yeah, 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 yeah. The Lord is close to the broken-hearted and saves those who are crushed in spirit. The Lord is close to the broken-hearted. Psalms 34:18. Yeah, 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 yeah. Psalms 34:18.
It's time for a Bible story. A long time ago, there was a woman named Esther who lived in the land of Persia.
Oh, that's where all those fancy rugs come from, right?
Yeah.
Those are nice. Little pricey, though.
God had an amazing plan for Esther's life. She would be remembered forever as a hero.
It's a bird. It's a plane. It's Super Esther. What does she do? Save the planet from a meteor?
Nope.
Did she rescue 1,000,000 kittens from a tree?
No.
Did she carry a bomb out of Gotham City on the Batwing so everyone wouldn't blow up, but you're not sure for like 5 minutes if she made it or not?
No, that's Batman. Come on.
Right. Still gets me every time.
Esther did something even more amazing than all of those things, and it sure took a lot of guts to do it.
All right, lay it on me. What's the sitch?
Well, first of all, Esther and her family were Jewish, which was kind of a big deal back then in Persia.
What do you mean?
Well, at the time, the Jewish people weren't really liked by the Persians. In fact, they had to live in exile, and they weren't treated very well at all.
Yikes, that's no good.
Esther was also an orphan, and she lived with her cousin Mordecai, who protected and raised her after her parents died.
Sweet beard, bro.
Then one day, something happened that would change Esther's life big time. The king of Persia wanted to find a new wife, so he put on a huge beauty pageant where the winner would become the queen.
Wait, really? That's a pretty weird way to get hitched. Like, congratulations, you're the new Miss America, and we're married.
Well, as weird as it may sound, that's what the king wanted to do, so that's what happened. Women from all over the kingdom were there, but there was only one that the king favored.
Paula Deen.
What?
Yeah, think about it. He would eat like a king. Well, I mean, I guess he's already a king, but think about how awesome every meal would be. Breakfast, bacon. Lunch, biscuits and gravy. Dinner, butter bacon biscuits with a side of butter.
Come on, Paula Deen wasn't around then. This happened like thousands of years ago. Esther was very beautiful, and God gave her favor in the king's eyes, so just like that, she won the pageant.
Wait, so Esther became the queen of Persia?
Yeah.
Okay, that's cool and all, but didn't you say that Esther was Jewish and that, like, the Persians didn't like Jewish people?
That's true, but the king didn't know that Esther was Jewish. She didn't want him to find out because she didn't know what would happen to her. So she kept it a secret and never brought it up.
Okay, so like now she's the queen. Crazy. Is that it?
No way. This is where the story really picks up. There's another guy that works for the king named Haman, and he's a pretty bad dude. He hates the Jewish people, so much so that he actually brings an idea to the king that would be terrible, to kill all of the Jewish people.
Whoa, that's really rough. Like, surely the king doesn't go through with it, right?
Actually, Haman gets the king to agree and sets the plan in motion.
Wait, but if all the Jewish people are killed, that would be horrible. They're like God's chosen people, aren't they? And that's where Jesus would eventually come from. This can't happen. Somebody's got to do something.
And that's where Esther comes in. She can't stand the thought of seeing her people get wiped out by Haman's awful plan, but she doesn't know what to do.
I know what she should do. Time to lay down the law and tell the king not to do it. She probably kicked into mama bear mode and was all like, "Listen here, buddy."
Let me stop you right there. Keep in mind that this is like ancient Persia. You couldn't just approach the king whenever you wanted to, even if you had a reason. Anytime someone would just pop off to the king, they'd usually get a pop off themselves.
Ah, gotcha. So I guess she's in a pretty tough spot, huh?
Totally. On one hand, she didn't want to see her people destroyed, but on the other hand, she can't just walk up to the king and tell him what to do.
Even the queen?
Nope, nobody could just walk up and talk to the king, period.
Man, this is tough stuff. So what'd she do?
Even though her mind was filled with doubt and worry about what would happen to her, she had to do something. Esther knew that no matter what her feelings were telling her, she was a child of God. She knew that God loved her and that he had blessed her life, and that if she stood up for God's people, that God would back her up.
Yeah, that's right. You go, Esther.
Esther trusted God and boldly went before the king. The nobles and the guards that surrounded him couldn't believe what they were seeing. Who did this woman think she was, that she could just walk up to the king on her own?
Oh man, I bet her feelings were totally freaking out.
I'm sure she was feeling a lot of things. She asked the king if she could make a request, and to everyone's surprise, the king wasn't upset. He didn't call for her to be taken away by the guards or thrown in jail, but instead, he listened.
Whew, that was intense. Okay, he's listening. Time to land the plane.
But she couldn't do it.
What? She chickened out? Bummer.
No, not exactly. She didn't want to come right out and tell the king everything, so she asked to have a banquet and planned to tell him there.
Okay, so there's still a chance to save her people. Come on, Esther, you can do it.
Later at the banquet, she went before the king with another request.
All right, here we go. Showtime.
But she was still too nervous.
Goodness gracious, you weren't kidding when you said her feelings were freaking out.
Totally. She was feeling all kinds of things, even questioning if the whole thing was a mistake. But her cousin Mordecai encouraged her and reminded her that what God says is more important than her fears and doubts, and he told her something that she would never forget. Esther, you were put here for such a time as this.
Yeah, come on, Esther, you got this.
Esther had dinner with the king again, and the moment came for her to ask her question. She took a deep breath, and she went for it. She pleaded with him not to go through with Haman's plan to kill the Jews. She finally told him that she was Jewish herself, and if Haman's plan goes through, that she would have to die too.
Man, Esther is one tough cookie. What happened next?
The king was moved by Esther's request and agreed to what she asked. He immediately got rid of Haman and canceled the plan to wipe out the Jewish people.
Yeah, you did it, Esther.
The king also gave all of Haman's wealth and property to Esther and Mordecai. Not only that, but the king signed a new decree to protect the Jewish people and keep them safe. The people of Israel were saved.
Man, Esther is like a real-life superhero. Move over, Wonder Woman. Esther can take you any day.
Esther decided to put her trust in who God said she was more than what she felt. And because of that, her entire country was saved. The end.
Man, Esther was in a super difficult situation. I don't even know what I would have done. But what I want us to do now is I want each of you to grab a piece of paper, or even better, some sticky notes if you have them, and then something to write with. What you're going to do is each person in your family is going to write down a few ways that they can think of that they can deal with difficult situations when they find themselves in them. For instance, maybe they can ask a parent or a friend for advice. That would be one way that you could deal with a difficult situation. So go ahead, grab sticky notes or paper and pens, and everybody in your family start brainstorming ways that you can deal with difficult or sticky situations.
Call to me, I will answer you. Call to me, I will answer you and tell you great and unsearchable things, and tell you great and unsearchable things you do not know. Call to me.
I want you to watch the following sticky situation scenarios. After each one, I want you to pause and think about which of the ideas that you came up with to deal with difficult situations would fit best in dealing with that particular scenario.
You're throwing a ball in the house and you break your mom's favorite table decoration. Mom hears the crash and comes running to see what happened. If you tell the truth, you know you're going to get in trouble. You could say you accidentally bumped the table. What will you do? You're in the middle of an intense video game. Just a few more points and you'll beat your high score. You hear Dad say it's time to turn off the game. The game is loud, so it would be easy to pretend you didn't hear. That way, you could finish the game. What will you do? You heard your best friend and some others lying to the principal about who started a fight. You didn't see the fight, but your friend told you another good friend of yours was the one who started it. Now an innocent person has been blamed and will be suspended from school. What will you do? You're playing with another child who is younger than you. That child has a toy you want to play with. You could just take the toy if you wanted, or you could switch it with the toy you have. The other child might cry, but maybe you won't get in trouble if you pretend you didn't do anything. No one is looking right now. What will you do? You're with friends when they start teasing an unpopular kid, taking his things and calling him names. If you stick up for him, the group could turn on you. You start to slip away, but someone throws you the boy's backpack. What will you do? Your mom made only enough cookies for your brother's class. She tells the family not to eat any. You really want a cookie, so you decide to take one. Mom notices a cookie is gone. What will you do?
Well, sometimes we find ourselves in some super difficult situations. Situations where it seems impossible to know what the right thing to do is. Or maybe we know what the right thing to do is, but we feel like it's impossible to actually do that right thing. And so we're going to check out a Bible verse this morning. So if you don't have your Bible, I want you to pause this video and run and get your Bible, bring it back and hit play. We're going to see if we can find this Bible passage in 30 seconds or less. Are you ready? The Bible passage is Philippians 4:13. Go!
All right, so here it is in my Bible, Philippians 4:13. So let's read it together. It says, I can do all this through him who gives me strength. Well, this is such a great verse to remember when you're facing a difficult situation. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. Notice it doesn't say I can do all things through my own strength. It says through Christ's strength.
When I'm facing a difficult situation and I don't know what to do, or maybe I know what to do, but it's really hard, I repeat this verse to myself. I just say, I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. I can do all things through Christ who gives me strength. And as I do that, I feel Christ strengthening me to do the right thing. And you can do that too. Well, in today's story, Esther didn't know what to do. And so she asked Mordecai and the other Jews to fast and pray. Now, fasting is when you don't eat for like a long time. In this case, it was for 3 days. And they did that so that they could focus on praying and asking God for wisdom. And you know what? Even though you might not ask people to fast for you, you can ask people to help you by praying for you when you're facing a difficult situation, just like Esther did. And so today we're going to try that. I want you to share with whoever you're with a difficult situation that you're facing, and then have everybody pray for you. Then the next person can go and everybody can pray for that person too. Remember, prayers don't have to be really long or fancy. They can be simple, like God, give so-and-so strength to do the right thing. Let's spend some time praying together.
So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41:10. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not fear, for I am with you. So do not fear, for I am with you. Do not be dismayed, for I am your God. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41:10. Isaiah 41:10. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. I will uphold you with my righteous right hand. I will strengthen you and help you. Isaiah 41:10.
Well, we're going to finish by working on our memory verse and singing one final song together. Next week, there's no kids service, but the week after that, we're starting a new series called How to Have Wisdom, and I hope you'll join me for that. Thanks so much for coming, and we'll see you next time.
The lions may grow weak and hungry. The lions may grow weak and hungry, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing. The lions may grow weak and hungry. The lions may grow weak and hungry. Yeah, yeah. The lions may grow weak and hungry, but those who seek the Lord lack no good thing. Hey!
All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. Yes, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. Yes, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. Yes, all things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. All things work together for the good of those who love the Lord. Oh yeah!
Psalms
34,
10.
34, 10.